Oh my gosh, happy May. It's unbelievable. May 1st, 2025. We're going to be talking about how to maximize your value. We're going to be talking about maximizing your value in the villages. You've got a home in the villages. You want to maximize your value. I've talked about last couple of weeks, I've been talking about buyers. We're going to be talking about sellers today and how you can maximize your value. So let's kick it off. There's not going to be a lot of screen share. I don't have a lot of slides on this, but just some basic research. And if you want to kind of fact check and to kind of look at some of the things I'm going to be talking about, check out some of my our past videos here at Realty Executives in the Villages. We are the #1 MLS company by far, and that's not to my credit, but certainly definitely a team effort. Really proud of my people, have really outperformed the marketplace. We've got about 27, almost 28% of the MLS market share. So super proud of them so far this year. Let's take a look at, let's go right to it. So, one thing that's going to be really important is pricing your home correctly. So that way you don't sit on the market for 60 to 90 days. Because what I'm noticing is that if you're on the market for 60 to 90 days, you're going to make less money on your home if you would have priced your home correctly in the beginning. So in other words, if you have a $500,000 home, that's going to be the sale price. You list it at 550 for leaving, you want to leave negotiating room. And because you listed at 550, less people look at it. People look at other homes that are priced correctly, don't make offers on yours, and they look at others. And then you decide, after 60 days, okay, now we can drop the price. Well, your home at 500,000 with 60 days on the market is not as valuable as a home that's 500,000 with 1 day on market. Because guess what? When it's priced right and buyers see there's only 1 or 2 days on the market, they're like, oh, no one else has really looked at this. This is actually new. Let me jump on it because it fits everything I'm looking for. As opposed to it's overpriced. It's like, well, we like it, but let's look at something else. And then when you get to the 60-day mark and you get people looking at it with 60 plus days on it, then what happens is like, well, other people picked over it and they're not thinking about, oh, it was at 550 and that's why. They're not putting that kind of logic behind it. So instantly you're losing money and you're losing the opportunity, the freshness of the property, that's what we're trying to create, right? That's why you want to price correctly, negotiate strongly when you price correctly. Big deal. That's number one. Number two is staging is a massive thing. What I'm noticing is the properties and there are plenty of properties, by the way, that are selling, under 60 days, they're selling relatively quickly. Why? Yes, price. Two, they actually look good and they smell good. Make sure your home is in tip-top shape. What happens a lot of times with sellers, not all the time, a lot of times sellers are like, well, they'll let the buyers take care of it. Well, you can do that, but guess what? The buyer is going to ask for a premium and they're going to charge for it. And they charge for it by giving you less of a price. Very key. So it could be like, little highlight upgrades, modernize the kitchen, new countertops, appliances, very key, making sure your curb appeal, and we've talked about this before, is really strong, landscaping, fresh paint everywhere, energy efficient features, things of that nature are really, really important. Of course, some of the things you can't change, if you've got a golf cart garage in the villages, that's going to sell for more. If you've got a view, even if it's a pond view or a golf course view, or you've got something that's a little extra sized, or you've got a bumped out garage, a little bit bigger, a couple of feet in both directions, that type of thing, bumped out. Sometimes, some of the models are, 100, 150 square feet bigger. Having a nice social area is super key. A lanai that doesn't face west, so you're not baking in the summertime. These are all things that you should consider when you're buying. Of course, when you're selling, you can't really change too much unless you're talking about upgrading a little bit. But one thing I want to bring up, the last thing I want to bring up here, is that we are in a very complex marketplace, right? So in a complex marketplace, the more chips you can stack in your favor, which is price and making sure that there are no, I would actually recommend a home inspection before you list, like pre-listing home inspection, so you can figure out what's wrong with the property. That way, when someone does an inspection, there's not all these things coming up, and that freaks buyers out with the point of like, oh, I don't know if we want to buy it. So, that's definitely a thing. Of course, hiring a realtor that's going to be very aggressive in marketing and really tell you the truth and understand the numbers is absolutely important. So if you need an idea of who to hire, or if you need an idea of what your home is worth, real accurate, not Zillow, but like a real accurate idea of what your home is worth, you can connect with me. You can text or call me at 352-572-3796, 352-572-3796. But the big thing is make sure that your home is priced correctly in the beginning. That's probably the most important thing that you've got to look at according to your upgrades, according to the things that you've added, the prettiness of it, that type of thing. You've got that in line, you're going to be in great shape. So if you have questions, please text me, let me know. You can also put your comments in the chat. But also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. That would be great. We'll talk soon.